I'm uh, I'm James Flores. I'm one of the main officers, one of the founding people of Cat Magazine.
That's
Hi,
cool.
I'm Maggie. I'm the vice president of Cat Magazine.
Nice.
Also a founding
Also,
member.
Awesome.
And we're excited to actually meet you and talk
Oh,
to you.
no. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys. This is really cool.
Great things. We've seen some of your amazing art. It looks awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So, you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Let's start off with the first question, which is a simple, basic one. What pretty much drew you to? Oh, what influenced you for art and stuff? What got you artistic?
Uh, I mean, I think probably like everybody in the room, I think, you've always been drawing since you're a little kid. And for some of us, fortunately, we never stopped. We just kept drawing and obviously having good teachers that were there to influence you and tell you like, you can turn art into a major. It can be something you do the rest of your life. It can be something that you do on the side, like how you're planning on doing. And then it can be something that you do as your main job. So, um, for me, I find influence, from the people around me and going to museums and traveling and, just working in an environment with other creatives that just send stuff to you and bounce ideas off of you. I'm fortunate enough to be a part of a lot of little groups of artists where we just share stuff all the time with each other. And you can even share gigs with each other and figure out and find jobs that way. So it's really incredible. Just being a part of an artistic community. And it can be everything from sculpting to drawing to, graphic design to creative writing. I mean, sky's the limit. So it's really cool.
so, what's your preferred medium to work in? Like, do you usually work digitally, or do you prefer traditional media, or a combination?
That my degree really is a Bachelor of Fine Arts. So I didn't get a degree in graphic design. I knew that maybe being a full-time sculptor or full-time traditional artist was going to be a little harder for me because I didn't have the traditional art skills all the way. I mean, I could draw, I can sculpt, I can do stuff like that, but I'm not to the level where maybe I would be in a museum or on a constant art show or anything like that. So I figured out right away that graphic design was a way to kind of give me the best of both worlds. And so I would say that digitally is the best way that I work. But I like taking things that I've done and scanning them in and getting new textures. And I draw those out or I sketch them out and then incorporate them into my artwork. So, you know, you don't have to necessarily live on the computer. You can live outside of it and then bring that stuff in.
So, what would you say was your upsides and downsides while doing your art?
Yeah. I guess there's two schools of thought. You could be a graphic designer and get a job working as an in-house artist. That's what I'm doing right now. My day job is I'm an in-house art director. So that's cool. But then at nights and weekends, I'm a freelancer and I do illustrations at night and I do other gigs at night. The downside on that is being a full-time freelancer is you don't know when your next gig's going to come. You don't know when your next job's going to come. So you're going to be up and down sometimes. Sometimes, like I just finished doing a project and it was a 4-month long project, which is great. But, it's been a while since I've had another freelance opportunity. So you don't know when your next job is going to come. So you got to be good with your money. You got to be able to know like, okay, you're going to get a nice big chunk of money right now. And you got to be able to hold on to that and, live off of it for the next few months if you're going to be a freelancer. Fortunately, my day job is a more constant check. I know when my money's coming in and stuff like that. So, but I am tied to my desk for 8 hours for that job. So I would say that's a downside and an upside. Both of them have their benefits. Freedom on freelance. Yeah. I mean, it's in the word right there, right? You have your freedom, but you better be able to know how to handle your money and plan ahead. So yeah.
Hateful that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So, when did you first find your passion for like art and design? Like, what got you started in the art community?
When I was younger, I would get paid as a kid, like from my friends to draw cartoon characters, and they would tell me like, draw them wearing an OHS helmet or a Permian helmet or whatever, and that was kind of like my way of going like, wow, I kind of figured out really early. It's like, you can kind of make money drawing, which is kind of funny. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to be an art major until I was in AP art classes in high school, and I got, an opportunity to go to UTPB. And, I have an art degree from there. I didn't think I was going to be an artist, though. I thought I was going to get into business or anything else. And, it was kind of one of those things that I kind of fell into. And honestly, I didn't think I would be still doing this. I mean, just being honest, I graduated with a few people at UTPB, and I'm the only one still doing graphic design. If that kind of puts it in perspective a little bit.
Last one to stand on that.
Yeah, exactly. And, and they stopped for a variety of reasons. One guy decided he wanted to go into nursing, and now he's out of nursing again. So he's still kind of skipping around a little bit. Another one just decided like, this is not what she wanted to do, and she went to something else, and that's fine. I mean, it's just, you never know until you get into it. So yeah, I'm fortunate. Fortunate for me, I haven't lost my passion for art. It's still something I really, really love doing. And it's something that I can't see myself doing anything else. Honestly, I don't, I wouldn't freelance if I didn't think it was fun and it wasn't something I enjoy doing. I would rather spend my time just watching TV or something. So.
What is that? Now, here's kind of a controversial depending on the person.
Sure.
What exactly is your opinion on, modern art compared to the old art?
Yeah. I mean, I would say if you want to say modern art could be also graphic design, I think a lot of people like to kind of put graphic design down because they don't think it's true art. And I would like to argue against that, because I think if you don't have an artistic eye, you don't know your artistic principles, you don't know your rules of balance, rhythm, color, all these things that you've taught and you've been taught and learned in your art classes, then you're not going to make a good looking piece of art. I mean, it's going to look horrible. It's going to feel wrong. It's just going to feel wrong. It may look okay, but it's just going to be off. And so to me, graphic design is art. And if you want to call it modern art, fine. I mean, there's the masters, the classics, they're masters of what they did. But I think they would be lost, obviously, if they had to try to use a computer to create some of the things that I've seen. I'm not just talking about my work. I follow a lot of designers, and I'm just amazed at some of the things that they come up with. And I'm just like, I'm blown away by it. And I feel very beneath them and many times. And I'm sure that's how some of the masters felt, when they were looking at their stuff that they saw from their peers, and they were like, how did you do that? I have no idea how you did that. So yeah, I think modern art is art.
So I see your bass in the background, and we were wondering if you've ever thought about doing other forms of art, like pursuing music or writing or any other form of art like that.
That's all for show. Yeah, it's
a conversation starter.
It's a conversation starter. Don't ever ask me to play it, because it's probably out of tune. Like I said, I really didn't think I was going to be a graphic designer. I went to school at UTPB, and I was just getting a general art degree. So fortunate enough there, I learned sculpting, drawing, printmaking, which is amazing. I love doing printmaking stuff. I'm happy that I got to do that there, because I think it's influencing my work now. Just being able to create my own textures and create, having ideas and using my sketchbook to come up with a path on problems that I have, that I'm kind of stuck on. I can grab a piece of paper, I'm fortunate enough to draw it, and maybe get my ideas on paper first and then bring them into the computer. But yeah, I think you can do anything with art. I mean, it's amazing. It really is.
No, on that topic, which is this whole interview, how the hell did you get the president logo signed?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Again, the community, the artistic community. You just never know where you're going to find your next job. So you got to be a part of that community, and you got to constantly be in there sharing ideas, doing stuff like this, interviewing, talking with people, mentoring other people. And during the pandemic, there was a thing that my friend put together, or he wasn't even really a friend. He was just somebody I knew in the art community, where he was doing posters for the pandemic. He was just kind of reminding people, wear masks, wash your hands, stuff like that. And he asked me if I would do a poster for him. Sure, no problem. Zero money, okay? Not paid, just something that you want to do for fun to get the word out. Fine. I had a few hours to kill, no problem. You know, I did the poster for him. Fast forward months later, he gets the gig for the White House. Then, you know, he was like, then he started assembling his team of people that he needed to do stuff. And he came to me and asked me if I would do the logo for him. I was more than happy to do that. So, you know, if I hadn't done that poster for this guy who I really didn't know, he lives in Washington, D.C. I don't know him. I've never met him in person. But if I hadn't been part of that community of just like-minded people doing things together, then that job would never have happened. So I'm very fortunate to be a part of a lot of these groups. And it just worked out perfect for this, you know, and he needed it. It was a short amount of time and we had to get on it very fast. And that's where the freelance part comes in. I have my 9-to-5 job. And then I was like, okay, after 5 o'clock, I'm focused on this all the way through midnight, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It didn't matter. It had to get done. So
That's incredible, man.
yeah. And that's how all these jobs that I've been able to do for all these things is just, you know, really, really doing, I call them self-initiated projects, which is a project you give yourself. Okay. You may not be hired by Nike. I may not be hired by Nike. I might not be hired by some of these companies, but you pretend like you are and you do work for them. And then you put it out there in the community and you let the community see it. And you're hoping that somebody's going to see it eventually. And you know what, with social media, obviously it can happen, you know?
So that kind of leads us into our next question. What sort of challenges did you face when you were designing the logo? Like, was it, like you mentioned, there was a lot of time constraints. So like, what other challenges did you face in that?
You have to have thick skin and know that whatever you put out there, people are going to, you know, crap all over it, you know, bluntly. I mean, that's what's going to happen. And I knew that, and then I was going to probably alienate half the country, right? I mean, like being a Democrat, I may piss off some Republicans, you know, who some of them may be in my family or in my circle of friends. So that was something that I was just, before I took that gig, I kind of had to tell myself, like, this is going to be kind of controversial. You know, who knows if it's going to be perceived. Maybe my immediate family would be proud of me and happy for me, but outside that circle, it may not be as nice, you know. And I think the Odessa American did a story on it, and I was really blunt with them. I was like, I don't want you really saying that my family lives in Odessa anymore. I was kind of worried for them, to be honest. And this was the first job that I got that I felt like I was a little bit worried about. Would I get, like, it sounds weird, but like death threats, or would I get, you know, things like that, which is kind of funny for a logo, like it could do that to you. But reading some of the reviews that I've seen on social media, I mean, obviously some of them are very positive and some were very, very negative. And I don't think people realize how much work goes into the stuff that you do. Be it writing, design, whatever you work on. They just see it immediately and they immediately have an opinion on it like that. So I would say that along with the time constraints and feeling like when you get an opportunity like this that maybe you're not good enough to do the work. That's another thing you kind of have to get over in your mind a little bit. Once you get this kind of opportunities, you have to kind of tell yourself, like, I can do this work. I know I can do this. I know I can do it. They chose me for a reason. I can do this work. And then you just got to get over that hill and get it done.
That's fantastic, man. Well, we're coming down to our last question.
Okay.
And of course, the question's your answer. What advice do you have for anyone, you know, who's watching this video, who's here with us?
Yeah. I mean, if it's something that you want to do, if you want to do design, I say, you know, go for it. There is an opportunity to make a career out of it. I've been a professional designer for almost 16 years now, which is crazy. I would say from the very beginning, it did not work out for me very well. I was not doing the work that I wanted to do, and it was very discouraging. And I felt like it was never going to, I was never going to get my big break. But then when that break happened, it felt like an avalanche after it. So I would say, don't be discouraged if you don't, from the very beginning, be able to get what you want. But just make friends with designers, make friends with other artists in your community, and just bounce ideas off of each other and just keep going. It can happen for sure.
Okay, everyone, that was the interview. I hope you guys liked the interview. And yeah, I'm Javis Flores.
And I'm Maggie Augustin.
And we're Cat Magazine. Have a good day.